Hello guys and welcome to Livestream, and sorry for a short delay. So yeah, let's continue with trading as usual. And as you can read from the title, today we're going to work on a backtester that's going to be integrated inside our Arbitrage Lab. So before we start with the coding part, as usual, let's have a look at our trading results, look at the strategy, see what can be improved. I would also like maybe start implementing some small bug fixes in our dashboard, and then once that is done, I think it should be done within like 38 minutes to 1 hour. We will then proceed with coding our Arbitrage Lab and Backtester. So let's get started with our result as usual. So we have a question: did you get this crazy profit with the same strat? Yes. So like the profits that you see here, right? So again, for anyone who's new to the live stream, you can see my live trading results on on this URL here. You can also find descriptions. And so the strategy is basically the same. Like we can apply it on different symbols and assets, but it's at the end of the day an arbitrage, right? We're trying to buy and sell, cross two platforms. So we're, trading on Hyperliquid, and then we're hedging the exposure on our MT5 platform. And yeah, it's all the same strategy. We just buy low on Hyperliquid, sell high on MT5, or the other way around. And yeah, so right now, what strategies are running? Right now, I have gold enabled and S&P 500 enabled. So right now, I believe that, or yesterday, when I ran my analysis, I believe that these two strategies offered like very, very good results yesterday. And so today it carried over, and we realized like a net profit of $140 since midnight. So that's this profit. And we also have some unrealized positions, right? We have open positions, so you can find the unrealized P&L here. So on this account, currently, if you look at the P&L curve, we are up roughly 1,500. I think I need to like double check the values if the funding rates are included, but this is like roughly our profit. And also, if you look at our test account, like we see that the test account like tends to have much better performance than the large account, right? Again, because on a small account, low liquidity assets are not such an issue for you. So this is like very efficient in terms of capital. And so on this one, we're also still trading USD but I'm also about like USD and JP225, because these are like lower liquidity assets that offer better profit potential, for your trades. But again, you can't trade large volumes on this. And like here, like on this account, we've been trading like over like for the past 5 weeks already, right? So here I can show you the P&L, for the past 5 weeks, and like the 10K account definitely outperforms the 100K account. But on the other hand, the 100K account like is just recent, right? So we don't have like that much data samples, but it is still quite amazing, if you look at the results here. So this is like a quick update about the strategies that we're trading. So here you can also see on my server my control panel. So on this control panel, you see the current strategies running, and I have SP500 and XYZ Gold enabled, as you can see here. And on the other account, I have USD and JP225 enabled. So if you look, check our other server, you'll find the results here. So yeah, we had like some delay in the dashboard, so today we're just plus 30. It's actually quite a lot of money considering it's a 10K account. And like on this server, what is running right now, USD and JP225. And you guys see that I'm not like trying to overthink the strategies. I think having like 2 or 3 strategies is usually enough for this type of trading. You usually want clarity and be very organized in this type of trading. And like, yeah, maybe in the future I want to deploy like more, like even like 5 to 10 to be more capital efficient. But for now, like, let's keep it simple and just, try to make money on the strategies that work quite nicely and have worked, over the past like weeks. We have a question here: what would be the downside of the strategy? Like, can this ever blunder? And so, like, the downside, of course, the strategy is that we are like trading on 2 like different platforms, right? So on Let me show you on this server, it's a bit faster. Like this is a virtual private server, it's a bit slower. This one, you know, has the 100K count, so I offered like I bought better specs on this one, so it's much faster. So here we're trading Hyperliquid, and here we are trading on MT5. So what can happen is that, like, because we're hedging between two platforms, we can run low on margin. So it means like on one platform we're making money, on the other platform we're losing money because we're hedged. And so when one account is running like too low on margin, what can happen is that your position gets liquidated. So basically your broker closes your trade to protect, you know, because you don't have enough money on your account. So as a result, when you get liquidated during liquidation event, you might exit at a bad price, right? You might have huge slippage because during liquidation, you know, you exit the entire position. What can also happen? Yeah, you might have unhedged exposure because you close a trade on MT5 and then it closes on Hyperliquid, which shouldn't happen because my trading bot should have some logic to you know, to try to exit before we reach that liquidation level, but that can happen during like very sharp moves, and that's the main thing. But yeah, again, so sorry, today's news for skipping you, but you know, to follow up on that question, if you have like, if you trade with low margin, low leverage, I mean, and have sufficient capital, this risk can be mitigated. But it's all about like relative percentages. So that's what I'm trying to show you. Like I have like an account with 100K and an account that starts with 10K, right? And so I want to like show you that like on a lower capital account, you are still able to generate very nice profits. So relative to this account, right, the test account has been performing like super nicely, and like you can even achieve these results on small amount of capital. So we have one question: how is gold performing? Pretty good. So let me show you, you know, the results on gold. So if we, for example, look at the large account where we're trading gold. So yesterday, we deployed gold. Let me go. Yeah. Let me check the server. And here, as you can see, we're trading XUSD on MT5 here, and on Hyperliquid, you will find gold here, right? So it's quite a big position. The position value is 277,000 USDC, which is roughly like 68 contracts of gold on Hyperliquid. And what's the profit right now? So on gold, if I filter the results by gold on the server, so for today, we can see that the realized PNL is 91 US dollars. Yeah, for today. And we also have like open positions, so you know, we can also like try to close our gold trade in a profit. The main profit right now is the funding rate on Hyperliquid, right? We get paid every hour on Hyperliquid due to funding rates, and so we can see that on gold, yeah, we get very nice funding so far. And like right now, the funding rate is a bit smaller, it's 13% annualized, but it's still quite good, right? It's still very good. So let me show you the funding rates on gold. So let me zoom in, and here on gold, right? So here you see on gold, we get +3, +3, +3, +6, +8, +6.9, right? So very nice hourly profits. Like at one point we got +11, right? At one point we made 11 US dollars in a single hour, and these are like the funding rates that add a lot to the edge of our strategy. So yeah, so this is gold. And so what is the expected annual return till now? So it's still difficult to say because, you know, on the 10K count, we, yeah, let's go back to the like our yeah, dashboard with the two accounts. On the small account, we've only traded for like 5 weeks, right? So I can't promise or predict the current return, but based on the 5 weeks, right, that we have, right, we made like 10% within 5 weeks. So a year has 52 weeks. So let me just take my calculator. So far this strategy looks like it's gonna make 50%, right? Because we made like 10% within 5 weeks. So I just multiply by 5, it's 50%. On the large account, we don't have that much history yet, right? Right now we have like, let's say 2 weeks, out of which I made like one mistake. Like the losses here that you see here were due to some strategy, like the strategy I turned on I thought it was profitable, but then I realized that, due to some Oracle prices, which I can then explain later, right? So due to some, basically a mistake on my side in the analysis and what I expected it to make, like I lost here. But overall, like we made like $1,500 on this account within 2 weeks. So let's say like we have $1,000 times like 26, which would be the annual, right, like the annual return. And because we start with 100K, so on this account right now it seems like we're going to make 26%. But again, very difficult to predict the annual return, or like the return strategy does change from week to week and from month to month. So I cannot like confirm like the expected annual return for now, and we'll see over time how it performs. And of course, it's in my interest to work on like increasing the profitability, right? So that's our job here, like is to research strategies, try to optimize the strategies, and like see if we can like try to achieve better results with better or more optimized strategies. All right, so this is like the current update for today regarding the our trading performance so far. And so let's try to look at the market and see if we can like find any trading opportunities, because my 100K account, as you can see, is not fully allocated, right? I have free margin on my account that I can still use for trading. And so the question is, what can we trade? And for that, right, we can also try to turn on our arbitrage screener, right? This is an app that we started coding last Friday. And so the purpose of this app is to find real-time arbitrage opportunities. So we're going to try to use it like every day now. By the way, this app will be hosted publicly once I have, done or created some of the features. But here in this arbitrage screener, I already have my favorite section, and I can try to look for the current best arbitrage opportunities. So if I like filter by like, let's say, the current spread in percentage, you see like the price deviations between in percentages. So for example, the spread on crude oil right now is very high, and we could theoretically trade crude oil right now because I still have money available, which would be a great opportunity. Another thing that we have is the arbitrage in percentages. So like there are different strategies, right? Some strategies try to capture the spread. So maybe I can show you like in this section here, we have like a nice tool that displays the historical data between WTI oil and also the spread. And here we see that like the spread, like in this case, crude oil doesn't hover around zero, right? There is some slight pricing discrepancies, but you see that crude oil here like hovers around minus 0.4, and this is the price difference. And here you can see the two correlated charts on crude oil between Hyperliquid and MT5. So yeah, so now I'm thinking like, okay, silver looks interesting. USD JPY still looks kind of interesting, right? Yesterday I exited my USD JPY trade, but I might be inclined like to re-enter that trade. Like gold and JPY have similar performance. Like JPY is much better. As you can see, like it's 12% compared to 8%, but gold has much higher liquidity. And like for a larger account, I prefer higher liquidity because then I have higher chances of getting filled, and this allows me to build my position. Whereas in JPY, I get better return, but I cannot build my position that fast, and that's why JPY or JP225 works much better on my 10K account, right? Works much better on my 10K account than my 100K account. So you can see that even, so as a trader, when you have like low amounts of capital, like let's say below 10K or below 25K US dollars, you have actually a great advantage because markets that have low liquidity can still be traded by accounts that are not well capitalized, right? So in case of like a 10K account, as I said, like with the current results, we're looking at like a 50% return as of now. And on the 100K account, we might be looking at a 20, maybe 25%, but I'm still trying to push it higher, hopefully, because again, on this account, we don't have much history. So we'll see, over next month. And which platform are you using? I'm not using any prop firm. I'm using my real capital. It's real money. Who's IFA Trader? Hi, brother. Hey, welcome to Livestream. Don't I have a social media manager? No, I manage my own social media right now. I have an editor, who helps me from time to time, but I work most, on the website and YouTube mostly, by myself, which in my opinion is like fine right now. So I don't feel like I need any assistance right now, but we'll see in the future. Okay, so here's our arbitrage screener, and so I'm thinking, yeah, we have crude oil here, and I'm like interested to like trade this asset. So now let's like try to turn on our crude oil strategy. So let me open my recent project. So yeah, this project, by the way, like if you're subscribed to membership, you can download it and like try my dashboards, control panel, string bots like yourself. So feel free to try it out. And uh, I wanted to do a quick Oracle price analysis on crude oil today, see where the fair value of crude oil is, and I'm planning to turn on my arbitrage on XYZCL, which is crude oil, right? So we're going to trade crude oil. We have quite a lot of available margin, and like as I said, in order to maximize profits, we need to also maximize the like when we have free money available or available margin on our account, it means it's not working and we're missing out on potential profits. You should have a social media manager that can help you boost a lot of euro, like some kind of content creator. Yeah, I'll think about it. Right now, I'm not too concerned. Like my main job right now is to like still work on the things that still need, to be worked on. So rather than paying someone to, manage my social media, and maybe that can be in the future, I need to work on the product, right? I want to make sure that like my control panel, my dashboards, and now the arbitrage lab that we're working on is going to, look pretty nice because I don't want to market something that's not like perfect yet, right? So yeah, I'll think about it. Thank you for a suggestion. And like definitely as the community grows and as the channel will grow, it's only a matter of time until, I'll need to find someone to, help me out because personally, of course, I prefer like just working on trading and the product, right? And like helping my members. And the social media aspect can, in theory, be done by someone else in the future. All right. Yeah. Where was I? Crude oil, right? So let's open a trade in crude oil. So today's Oracle basis is at 43.8 or like 43.5. So let me set the value to 43.5. And for crude oil, I would like to, maybe create a spread that is like $3 above and $3 below. Okay, now my WebSocket crashed. So what I'm doing here is I'm just computing the fair value of crude oil between MT5 and Hyperliquid. So let me show you again an example what it looks like here. What you see here is that we have the Hyperliquid price and the MT5 price, right? You see, sorry, Hyperliquid is the blue one, MT5 is the purple one. And so we see that there is some price difference here, and there are reasons for that. And the reason for that is that they might, so Hyperliquid and MT5 use different combination of futures prices. So crude oil is basically derived from crude oil futures. And because of these differences, you see the price difference here. And so when we want to like trade a spread, right? This is the cross exchange spread between a Hyperliquid and MT5. You see that sometimes the spread is high, sometimes it's low. So I want to like capture this fair value, which is hovering like around this level. So I feel like I can buy like when it's low here and sell when it's high here. And for that, I'm using this Oracle price monitor that is like giving me out this fair value around which I can like then quote my spread. So to turn my crude oil strategy, which is minus 0.437 or minus 0.438, or you know what, I'm just gonna do minus 0.44, right? Because it's 3 cents, so in the end it might not be like too bad. So here 0.43, I need to remember that. So on crude oil, the fair value is 0.43. Yeah, 43. Here we also have 0.3. This is like my exit price. I always want to exit around the fair value, and then I want to enter maybe like 3 cents lower, like minus 0.46, and I will enter like 3 cents higher, which is like 0.40, right? So these are my entry and exit prices, and I'm going to try playing around with the strategy. So here what I'm going to do is I'm going to allocate like 25% of my capital. I'm gonna turn on the strategy, and this is like still very experimental, right? It's very experimental because I haven't traded crude oil on Livestream yet, or personally I have traded crude oil, but it was like a funding rate arbitrage where I did like some special analysis before. But this is something that like a new approach with the Oracle pricing that I'm still testing. So I'm hoping that I'm going to make some money on this strategy. But I think like my theory should work out, but we will see. So now what you can see is that my trading bots are turned on. On the left side, we have our trading bot that processes the signals. On the right side, we have the hedge bot, which hedges exposure with my MT5 on the server. And so let's see, I think I should be able, oh, it's already placing a trade, which is amazing. And okay, so here we see that we started to trade, but we have some small error here. So I need to double check that. So it's nothing bad, right? Because the position is not too large. I have, some position on crude oil here. I have 50 crude oils. Like it's not the smallest position. I'm already minus $1, but it's nothing that I should like worry about too much. So if I just take it chill and try to yeah, just deal with it a little bit, you should be fine. So here, the minimum like precision is 0.001. So I'm going to double check the settings now. So here in strategy settings, let me turn on my trading bot, turn off my hedge bot, and here the minimum type of offset should be set to 0.001, right? So that's the first thing I need to fix. And the second thing I need to work on is where is it? My hedge threshold, which is hedge settings. So apparently it's invalid volume uh, on XTI USD. Oh, I see why. Because it's trying to submit 81 XTI USD here, which is definitely too much. So I made a mistake in the contract size, and I'm actually lucky it didn't open any position because it would have opened a huge one. Uh, the hedge threshold units here is, so one second, I need to check. So here, crude, how many crude oils do I have? I have 50 crude oils, WTI oil here, and so the question is, why did it try to open 0.81? Let me open the strategy settings just in case. All right, we're plus $2, so at least we're making a little money, but it's a lucky trade. So let's go to strategy settings, go to crude oil, and see what we have here. Oh, that's a very, very stupid mistake because here I have the FX conversion symbol, which I shouldn't have done. I think I should implement, some double check for this because the FX conversion symbol, I'm not sure if I can find it. Yeah, should be none, right? So here, let me save it. And so if I start start this here. This could be very dangerous because then I would have opened a position that's 150 times larger. Oh, so here with none as string. So let me restart this again. So here we have so now it's correct. So that's my mistake. So now I'm trading crude oil here, right? It is correctly hedged now. And like we have a small loss here, like five US dollars, but on IC we are +3, so just $2 loss, nothing bad here. Let's now proceed, with turning our strategy on crude oil. So we're going to start crude oil here, and yeah, let's read some comments while we are trading crude oil here. One thing have you tried spot future arbitrage in crypto? Yes, I have. I have one test trade actually on my testing account, right? So here, if you look at this example, I don't trade spot future, right? Because for me, it's not as capital efficient. But here you can see that I have a Bitcoin trade open, like Bitcoin. I bought Bitcoin as a spot asset. And here I also have Bitcoin as a futures asset, right? So here you see that I'm -55. Here I'm +54.5, but I also made 67 US dollars in funding. So here I have like a spot future arbitrage here. It's like just a proof of concept that I want to show you guys like a week ago. So this is also what I'm like trading, as an example. So as long as I hold this position and Bitcoin funding rates are still going to pay me out, over time, this position will consistently make money for me, which is like nice, right? And because we have the like same shared margin between Bitcoin spot and Bitcoin futures, like we are basically like making like almost like roughly 8 to 10% annualized return on this cash and carry arbitrage. Cash and carry means spot versus futures in this case. So another question, are the bots attached to MT5? Sorry, I just came across your channel and the work you are doing is kind of aligned to the bot I'm building. So my bots, how they work is that I'm using Hyperliquid API, right, to extract market data from Hyperliquid, and I'm also using the Python API from MT5. So my trading bot basically is able to communicate with these two exchanges, process the data, and generate trading signals, and is also able to trade on these both. On these both platforms. And so my trading bot, right? So here, what you can see, this is just a basic GUI that starts some scripts. So on the left side, we have the signal processing script that like sends the trade to Hyperliquid, and the right side, the hedger, it is listening to Hyperliquid exposure or like the fills, and then it sends the trades to MT5 to create a delta neutral hedge, right? So this is what we're doing here. Okay, so let's check our crude oil trade, right? So here, let's see our crude oil. So here we see that we are selling, right? So we are 52 crude oil short, 52 now. And I see that we're also like trying to exit SP500 now, right? So here we also see a request to exit SP500, which is also nice, right? Because right now, like yesterday, what is it, like yesterday, if you look, like we bought here, then we sold here, then we bought again. So we had like quite like a good setup on SP500. So now we're going to be flat on S&P. And so maybe today we might be trading crude oil. And as you can see, it like depends on like the current market opportunity, right? So here right now, crude oil has the highest funding rate, which is like really nice. And USD/JPY is like second spot here. So this is also like pretty cool. And I mean, even gold, right? Look at gold. Like gold is back at 1.86 arbitrage. It feels like I should like close gold soon, because gold, like the floating PNL, is quite no, sorry, the other account. The floating P&L on gold is like quite high right now. So I would be able to close it in a profit, right? You see the nice floating P&L. A lot of it is coming from gold. Like these are just, you know, some time snapshots, so they're not accurate. But once we close it, we should be able to see. And so yeah, so let's go to Asana now, right? This is my task management tool, and let's start like fixing bugs, code something, right? So now we can proceed to the actual coding part. So as I said, we're going to code the backtester, but I still want to, you know, process some trades. So usually at the start of stream, I always like check my trades, see what's making money, try to deploy new trading bots, and then like always manage the trades first. Let's make money first, and then focus on coding, improving our technology, you know, once everything is managed. Two, just to tell you, know some Chinese supplier, give Claude AI for 10x cheaper. If you're using Claude and living in China, you should try. No, I live in Prague. It's in Europe, so probably not applicable for me. Okay, so sorry guys, I promised you that I would like set up the 1K aggressive account, but so far, you know, I feel like I'm busy with other things. I would have to like manage another server, more trades, and like I would love to show you how to manage a very small account, but I feel like I could be more productive if I focused on like the current tasks here, right? So let's just leave it here. Maybe I'll discuss with a friend of mine, right, who can manage the account for me, or I could like maybe do something like, you know, have a student, right? I could like maybe have a student who I could teach trading. He would be managing that 1K account. And so instead of me trading a 1K account, I could have someone, you know, that I could teach, and that person would have this one account, and we'll see, you know, how the results would go. So yeah, so just putting it here in backlog for now, and let's focus on the backtester. But today I need to I need to, you know, fix some minor bugs in the dashboard. These are just some reporting bugs, so I'm gonna fix them now, and then once I'm done with that, let's code Arbitrage Lab. So let's quickly check my crude oil. Right now we're 80 crude oil short, right? On MT5, we are like one crude long. So here we see that it's hedging, but because the volume step on XDI on IC trading is 0.5, right? That's why the volume steps are like in 0.5 increments here, which is fine. So so, yeah, so one thing I wanted to fix, so let's open Claude and like try to fix some issues. Yes, I'm uh if you want a student, I will can pay if you want. But like 101, right? Yeah, I'll have to think about the exact the exact like time allocation and the project. But I think like we can try like one student should be okay, right? Maybe if we like dedicate, I don't know, like one half an hour session like once per week, and then we can have like regular like short, you know, short updates through some Discord channel, right? And then I could show you, you know, the individual things. I could like set it up, but yeah, for me, like having like one-on-one sessions is not as efficient as, for example, streaming in front of hundreds of people, right? uh, but I think it would be like nice to see, you know, how people would perform if they actually had like a one-to-one mentor. I think this, you know, the students would actually progress much faster. So but yeah, again, I don't want it to interfere with much with my current schedule. I need to like I can teach, right? I can teach how to trade, but in order to teach, I need to finish building these tools, and I think I'm like maybe 70% there. Yeah, maybe 60% there. And like the best way to teach is already have the like tools ready, right? It's easier to teach someone with high quality uh, backtesters, dashboards, working trading bots than having to explain to you, you know, than having to teach you when there's an actual bug in the code. So so right now still my priority is going to be focused on this, and that's why I'm going to try to fix one bug. Uh, In dashboard, I want the unrealized P&L to also include MT5 swaps. So I'm going to make like a small adjustment in the swaps, and then like this week also we need to like try to run some strategies where we can like trade based on the Oracle basis, right? So we want to trade based on this like price difference, the average price difference that you see like on crude oil, because on crude oil again, if we trade it, we have this price difference and we need to account for this drift. So we're not trading scalping around zero anymore. Pardon, sorry about that. We're not scalping around zero anymore, but we are now trying to scalp around 0.4, and this can change over time, and this is like a major change of our trade strategy. We need to like compute the fair value, or like this can be done manually, but then we need to, you know, like scalp around this fair value, and this can be like recomputed like once per hour or once per day, right? And so this is like slightly different compared to what we're trading, for example, on gold, right? On gold, what you can see is we are much closer around zero here, right? And because we're closer around zero, it's much easier to, you know, apply a scalping strategy here. Same with SP 500. If you click on this, what you'll find is that, yeah, we're again hovering around zero here. Okay, I need to double check. Like here we are like almost fully allocated. I think I'm just going to like increase the allocation percent here to 85% on this little account, right? I see that this account still has some available margin here. So I feel like we can like try to squeeze some extra, you know, profits by increasing the allocation percentage. I want to leave some open for JP because JP still makes very, very good return, right? But I think on JP we can like still run that. Yeah, even with 85% capital allocation, and maybe I can like increase leverage here. Oh, it's already 1 to 10, so I don't have to worry about it here. And let's check crude oil. Oh, the Dark Knight's on the stream. Sorry for missing your chat. Hello to so how did yesterday go? Yeah, pretty well. Yesterday we opened a trade on gold and SP 500, right? So here, if we look at, you know, at our P&L report, like don't be shocked. Like here, this realized loss is actually the MT5 swap closing, and so we have to look at the strategy as a whole. So here, if I look at USDJPY, no, now it crashed again. Let me refresh this. And I might be scared that I might be getting rate limited again. Or let me, yeah, now it works. So if I filter by USDJPY here, right? So I filter by USDJPY. So this is a filter. So in total, USDJPY made quite nice profit, $650. And so if we scroll up now and like look at the gold strategy that we deployed yesterday. So this is our gold strategy. So right now, not much has been happening on gold, right? Because we still have the open position. But yeah, I think what's missing here is we have to add the funding rates. So I think, yeah, we do have a mistake in the P&L report. We're missing the funding rates, which I have to double check. Or maybe the funding rates are added once the position closes. This could also be possible. But if you also like check SP 500, right? These we opened that yesterday. So yeah, all these positions are still open. So we need to wait until they close. So I'll provide a report, you know, until then. But here for today we're plus 145, and then we still have some unrealized P&L here. I would love to hear a student. Guys, really knows how to trade. We'll be lucky to learn from. Great. So yeah, I'll think about this soon. Okay, Harry, thank you. I'll remember your name now. Next time you can remind me. I'm bad with names, but yeah, Harry, Dark Knight, Harry. Okay. I'll manage. Did you make $500 yesterday? No, I did not. Or what was it yesterday? Like it's kind of complicated, right? Because on this account, what we have, okay, now I feel like this P&L report is quite buggy because now we don't see any profits at all. Maybe I should just restart the dashboard. Maybe that will help. Let me just restart the dashboard and see if that does something. Okay, so I restarted my dashboard. And so here are the profits. So yesterday, like we realized like almost $300 on USD JPY because we closed like the unrealized swaps on USD JPY that carried over to the next period. And so here, yeah, this report is actually quite annoying. All right, I'll try to fix it. Let's look at the previous one. So yesterday we had like a realized loss, right, on USD JPY, which is fine because for the entire like week, we made a profit. And I'm going to check, yeah. So here I'm going to update the swap calculation on, in my dashboard, so it reflects the real values. And then I want to check also the. Can you double check whether P&L report in dashboard also takes funding rates, swap, and commission into account? So yeah, here we're going to check this. Like let's look at all the things, right? Maybe we will find an asset with very, very good funding rate, like Bird, 550%. Like yeah, ASML. Like if you look at the stocks here, right? The stocks here have very, very high funding rate. If you look at it, like 30%, 29%, and so on. So in theory, I have to check the historical funding rate, but I somehow can see that like these stocks are slightly more risky if I look at them, right? Like not risky, like risky in terms of like when you hedge with MT5, you can only hold them for 8 hours, but they have very, very high funding rates. So like in theory, if I like sold ASML on Hyperliquid and I was holding ASML like on IC trading, that should be fine. But I think the best way to trade it is like going to interactive brokers, because interactive brokers or IBKR, they have overnight trading. So worst case, if I get liquidated, I can try to trade using yeah, IBKR. Or the second thing I could do is I could try to compute my own index, right? So here in indices, we have like XYZ 100, which is highly correlated with the tech stock. So I could create like a statistical arbitrage where I, for example, hedge XYZ 100 on the same exchange like Hyperliquid and hedge it against like the underlying stocks. That to me also like sounds very interesting. And I think that could be a very, very interesting strategy, right? Because first, the risk would be very low because we're doing like sort of like a hedge strategy on a single exchange. So the losses and profits would be offset from each other. And like looking at these crazy funding rates here, I think we can like try to do something. Like here, you see like XYZ 100 is just 5% funding rate. And then the remaining stocks that you see are like about 20 or 30%. So I could actually like create a strategy like that. It would only require to, yeah, it would require, oh, even better. I could create like a strategy where I hedge these stocks and then I would hedge them against US tech on IC trading, which trades 24/5 anyways. So such a strategy would be like super interesting because then my index I would compute would then try, to place a trades on these individual stocks. Okay, now I'm thinking too much, but I think that would be like a super cool strategy that we can like try in the future. Okay, crude oil. We have 179 crude oil right now. Still trying, to allocate a bit more. But I think, yeah, and we already got 6 cents in the funding rate, right? So this is nice. Oh, I see SP 500 now exited, so we're flat on SP 500. Let me exit gold, right? The gold funding rates are back to being normal, so I feel like we can try to exit our position like soon, right? So here we are like back to normal annualized funding rate. Like in theory, I could hold it like till the rest of the day, right? Because on MT5, the swap is charged like at 11 p.m. So if I hold this like till end of day before the swap charge MT5, I could make like, let's say $3 to $4 every hour, which is also not bad. So what do we do? We can close gold. Let's see if my prompt to fix the issue is done. Okay, so everything works here. So what I'm going to add here, I'm going to copy the new dashboard folder because this dashboard folder has the fix, and I'm going to apply it on this here. So here the swaps that are open MT5 will be included, so my unrealized P&L will be slightly lower because of that. But that's fine because we want to have correct data, and it's better to also work with data that looks slightly worse. So okay, so let me close this thing here. Let's rerun our dashboard, and so that should now, as you can see, my unrealized P&L it should be slightly lower now, hopefully, and like the swaps should be now included. So yeah, that is great. So let's see if I can close gold. Like I will close gold like after I allocate my position on XTI USD, right? Because right now I don't have anything better to trade anyways. So it would be a good idea to first allocate my position and then exit other positions when they have nothing to do, right? Um, and like I added a new symbol which is gold, so I also need to add gold into my dashboard. So here let's write XYZ gold, and here let's write XAU USD. So let's save the settings. Now we can add gold to my dashboard here, and so what you can see here is yeah, the current my current gold trade. So as you can see, my entry price is like 3.2, which is like not too bad because I think I want to enter at 3 anyways if I check my strategy settings. So yeah, this is gold here, my strategy settings. I've entered 4, like, so yeah, we got slightly worse fill at 3.2, but still a good price. And so if I exit now at like, let's say 1, right, or 0, I should be able to close this unrealized P&L in a profit. Of course, I will also pay some extra commission by exiting the trade. So this is just, just so you know, in case you want to exit, we could like try to exit at 1 or at 0, and then we would make a profit here. Okay, it looks like we don't want, or like we don't have such a strong signal on crude oil right now. So let's go back to my favorite. So here the funding rate arbitrage is 20%, right? 20% if we short it. I need to check on IC whether oil has, yeah, it has a positive swap. So that's like nice to see, right? That is fine. Like, so for now, I think we don't have to overthink it too much, right? We can maybe turn on our JPY strategy, which shows 20% funding rate arbitrage. Yeah, right now the annualized funding rate on USD/JPY is very good. Like it is like very good. So I think we can turn our USD/JPY strategy again and keep trading that strategy. Like we're trading that here already on our small account, so I'm going to turn it on my large account also. So yeah, now how many strategies do we have? So we have SP 500, we have crude oil, we have gold, and now we're also going to trade USD/JPY. And as you can see, like here, if we go to strategy settings, right? What's my allocation percentage? 25%, right? So the reason I have 25% is like I don't want to be too stuck in my position, right? If I have 100%, it will take me hours to exit my trade. So now, yeah, I would prefer to maybe enter at 0.1, right? And then maybe exit USD/JPY at like 0.6 or 0.5. Like I can still decide later, but I think this would be like a correct setting for USD/JPY. Oh, 0.5. Almost made a mistake. Uh, and like, yeah, let's start both strategies, and hopefully that will not cause any crash, because right now I have 4 strategies running, and I still like need to what is it? Like every strategy right now is using like its own WebSocket, right? And like Hyperliquid has WebSocket limitations. So maybe what I was thinking is that we could have like a central system that can like do the WebSocket connection and then communicate with all these individual trading bots. The danger is, of course, then that it would if the central system crashes, all trading bots lose data. So it's very important to make sure that this central place, or like the Hyperliquid connector, stays up all the time, right? So it can send trades, read the data, and make sure that it like performs very fast. Okay. So here everything is done. So I will just commit and push the changes here. And so now let's proceed to our main project. So let's like work on Arbitrage Lab. And like if we find any new trading opportunities, we're just gonna monitor them here, right? And then we can always try to enter into a new trade, right? So here we have our favorites, and our best strategies or opportunities are WTI oil and JPY. Like of course you have some funding rate arbitrage here theoretically. I think the values are a bit wrong. I need to double check the funding rate computation formula. Looks a bit wrong to me. Silver has nice funding rates, WTI oil, and then we have SpaceX with 14%, right? So I'm just scrolling through these things here. You know what's weird? SpaceX is not an ETF, so we might have to double check that later. And then we have like these weird like stocks that have like over like 200 or 100%. Like that to me is like quite interesting to see. Like not sure why that is, but yeah. All right. So now what I'm going to do is like this is the thing here. So we need to add our own backtester. Yeah, I feel like when I click on details, I want to maybe open a new like page called backtester, right? That would be like quite interesting for me, because like the pop-up is nice, but I think I would like to add much more data. And yesterday I was thinking, should I leave it like as a window here, or should I like open a new page? And like I think I will open a new page now. How do we balance broker and your wallet? Do you transfer money via P2P? Well, if you look at like an example here, right? One account is running quite low on margin. Here we have like this, not margin, like balance, right? On Hyperliquid, I have this much, right? 41%. On MT5, I have 58%, which is 5K and 6K, which is like okay, right? And so, well, this is a bad example because it's euro, but on this example here, I have USDC and USD. So the nice thing about IC trading is that, so IC trading, this MT5 provider, they offer crypto deposits and withdrawals. So I can withdraw my USDC to my crypto exchange. And from that crypto exchange, I can send it directly to my MT5 broker. So I don't need to apply any conversions. I can directly deposit USDC. And then the nice thing about IC trading is that when you deposit USDC, you can convert USDC to USD for free at a 1-to-1 exchange rate. So the deposit and the exchange from USDC to USD is quite fast and for free. So here in Arbitrage Screener, instead of I want the details button to open a new page instead with the symbol parameters. I want this page to be called like, it's not Backtester, right? It could be like we're analyzing the individual details, right? So when we click on like this button here, like analyze backtest, like the names are always details. Let's just call them details for now. Or let's just call it Backtester. Or pair details. I think pair details are fine. Or pair analysis. Yeah, pair analysis sounds pretty good. The features of pair analysis should be visualizing historical prices and spread, and also add some. Okay, let's start with this, and then we can proceed with the other features of this app. So when we click on this, it will like open your page, and we will have a new page, and it will already relay the details of the individual symbol. And then we can like run simple backtest, commission analysis, and like we can try to design a strategy with the like specific settings, right? Are you using prop firm or personal capital? It's all personal, no prop firms here. If anything, I hate prop firms. It's so funny, right, guys? when someone sees 100K, the first reaction is like, is it a prop firm account? And like I think, yeah, maybe I should add like some extra note that it's actually live money, because nowadays people can say, oh, I have $1 million in funding, but it's actually all just demo accounts. We can't do this in prop firms, right? I mean, theoretically you could. I don't know, how practical it would be. Also, you're hedging, so it's like against their terms and condition. If they like find out, you'll probably get banned. But then again, they have to find out. So if you do it smart, then maybe they will not catch you. Okay. So we're creating like this new app here, and I think I'm going to work on the docs thing here. So here, I'm going to add a new file called pair analysis .md, and then here I'm going to describe all the features that I want implemented into my dashboard, and yeah, that will be interesting to see. And then like we're still working with like the Hyperliquid direct like API, right? So today we're going to use 0x archive, like a third party data provider who can then who can then provide data for all of these things. And then I'm going to share the things publicly with you. So let me just check 0x archive to see, like I texted them last week and they offered me a pro version, which is like really cool. So yeah, so really nice of them, to give me the product for free to test it out. But again, I'm doing like free marketing from them, so it's like, you gain something, you give something. And like here, there's like so-called a production headroom for live systems. I have to check it out. If, for example, 0x Archive is able to provide the data faster than my own WebSockets, right? So in theory, I can try to stream the data using their pro version, and we'll see, if that can be used. So it's like going to be interesting to try out. Yeah, prop firms, they don't allow hedging. But there's no way for them to find out. They can only speculate, right? If you hedge. So hedge as much as you can without making it too suspicious. Like, isn't it funny? They don't allow hedging. Uh, because what does hedging do? It actually just secures like profit on your side, but they would have to pay out anyways, regardless of hedging or not. So I think the business model or their business model uh, should be like irrelevant from the hedging aspect, right? Um, but from their point of view, if you hedge, you know how to exploit the system, so they just want to get rid of you as soon as possible, most likely. Okay, so we're going to connect to 0x Archive. Yeah, because I can't use my own API keys to provide this app for you. I will need like this data feed provider. I think I'm going to use the pro version, right, and share the results with you, so you guys then have access like to this app later, right? So yeah, I want this app to be available to all like members to screen for these opportunities. So we're adding all these calculators and backtesters, which is going to be like quite nice, I think. Oh yeah, it's almost June. I promised to have some uh, prop trading arbitrage webinar. I think probably next week. I still need to set a date, but yeah, feel free to come. I don't trade props anymore, but I'm willing to share some, knowledge and strategies that I don't use anymore. So you can like feel free to feel free to join. And like there will be a recording, so I will also like upload the recording later regarding prop arbitrage and hedging. Because in the perfect world, like, or normally, how can they accuse you of hedging? There is no way they can prove it, right? It's all speculation. So if you hedge correctly, there's no way to find out. Date, don't know yet. Probably next week. I think it's going to be Thursday or Friday on the, like, let's say 9th or 10th, something like that. I just want to make sure I want to finish Arbitrage Lab by the end of this week, or like maybe do some finishing touches next week, so I can like focus on some new projects. Right? I don't like to like usually mix a lot of tasks at the same time. It gets me quite disorganized. Nice. So guys, crude oil is already allocated at 25% capacity. I think I will increase it because we still have some margin available. So here I think crude oil, in theory, let's increase the allocation percentage to 50%, right? I think I'm fine allocating up to 50% of my capital on crude oil. And I need to check the execution, right? I don't know if the execution is good. You always need to double check if you get good fills, right? Sometimes the market's very fast, volatile, or your quotes are stale, and there's like no guarantee that you might be getting good fills. So always check your execution before it's too late. And then when you realize you're losing money, it's probably too late. Okay, so we added a new symbol. We create like our own symbol map. And here on crude oil, so our entry is minus 0.4. Let me check our entry price. So we short at minus 0.4 and we exit at minus 0.43. So yeah, actually the execution is perfect on crude oil, right? We wanted to short 0.4 and we're minus 0.42 average entry price. And like if we look at like the price here, we see that we got quite good fill. Even we also like got a quick exit probably. No, we did not. Oh, I got minus 4 in dividend. There was probably a dividend. I didn't know this. Okay, so crude oil is being allocated quite nicely. So we're already at 25% capacity at leverage 1 to 5. So we have 900 crude oils. Like you see already, like we are plus $300 on crude oil here, right? On this on Hyperliquid, and here we are minus 292. Okay, so let's just leave it running. I think crude oil is gonna be fine, and continue. Let's continue with our dashboard. So here, our free margin right now is very low now. So I think we reached the maximum. Yeah, we reached the maximum exposure. So I can actually. Oh, and we also managed to get like 500 USD JPYs, which is like pretty okay. Yeah, it's pretty okay. Cool. Um, by the way, my name is Dex. Yeah, sometimes I know who you guys are. Yeah, hey Dex. I just don't know if I should call you by the first name, right? Because it's you know, publicly on YouTube, or if you prefer the you know, the your anonymous or like your official YouTube name, because some people I actually respect a lot of their privacy, especially like I don't know. I lived in Germany, and like Germans try to put a lot of value in privacy and stuff like that. So if you give me your consent on live stream chat, I will call you by your name. And if not, I will just call you whatever you're called, like Poseidon 25 Bang. Can you share a roadmap to the point where we can call Arbitrage Lab complete? Well, I think it's important to like summarize or like list down the things that, yeah, Arbitrage Lab should fulfill, right? So, or how about let's just, take like, let's say 3 minutes and just write down like the entire thing that I'm doing here, right? And like here, I already in the docs, yeah, we have our markdown here. So, uh, so of course, like we have control panel to manage our trading strategies, right? We have our dashboard to monitor live trading results and provide reports on your trading P&L. And we have Arbitrage Lab to help you with the analysis, identifying strategies, and providing the signals, like giving you, basically it's giving you the edge, right? It's telling you what you should trade to have an edge in the market. That's what Arbitrage Lab should do. So Arbitrage Lab uh, is an analytical web application uh, that provides real-time uh, signals and analysis on arbitrage opportunities between Hyperliquid and MT5. Right? This is like the main point of Arbitrage Lab. Right? In the future, it's not just Hyperliquid. In the future, I want Arbitrage Lab to include other dexes or like other like sources of data. So Arbitrage Lab, like for me, is going to be like my most valuable product from now on, hopefully. Because yeah, you can always code your own trading bots, you can always code in dashboards, but it's data that already exists and you only display that to the user, right? And nowadays with AI, anyone can make like an arbitrage bot. But what is the thing that makes you profitable? It's having an edge in the market and knowing what exactly should buy and sell with the specified backtest, with the correct parameters, with the correct optimization. So this is what Arbitrage app should do. And so if you look at the apps, right? If you look at the apps that we want currently or that we're working on, it's the screener, right? So this is the first app that I want to build, the Arbitrage Screener. And this is basically done, right? It's not so complex, right? All you have to do is you either filter by the current funding rate arbitrage, which takes the swaps and the funding rate from Hyperliquid, computes on that value and gives you exact percentages how much money you can make. So this value already, like seeing that crude oil has a funding rate arbitrage, or JPY or silver or JP25 is great enough. Another thing that like we have is like the current spread, right? Sometimes you don't care about funding rate arbitrage. Sometimes you want to like scalp the spread, right? The cross exchange spread. So let me try to click on this. Oh, I actually removed the new window, and this will open a link, right? And here we have a new link where you have the pair analysis, right? So here you can like scout the spread, the cross Hyperliquid MT5 spread. You can buy here, sell here, buy here, sell here, buy here, sell here. And in this case, you would make money on the like realized P&L than the funding rates. So Arbitrage Screener has like multiple purposes, and then like we have to like look at the types of edge and like what you want to focus on. So if your strategy focuses more on funding rate arbitrage, you need maybe want to display the historical funding rates to see how long you can like try to make money on that. Another thing is like a very simple like a backtester plus a strategy optimizer, right? So I want to create like an app, and that's the main topic of today's like live stream, is we're going to add a backtester where we're going to like click on SP500, right? And then what we do is like we apply some static levels, buy and sell, maybe based on standard deviation, to buy at static levels, and then see how the strategy performs, right? This is what I mean like by adding a backtester. Then what we will need, in my opinion, is also like in the future, like on JP25, like we're sort of market making, so we can like also like when we backtest with mid prices right now. But when the spread is very high, you can like provide constant bid and ask quotes, and then we can do like we can add like average 24-hour spread, like bid ask spread, and the higher the spread, the easier you can actually do market making, because with a wide spread you can compete at top of book and you could have like much higher activity. And that's what I've seen on JP225 like 4 weeks ago. Right now I think JP is very efficient. Maybe I changed something. Maybe some market makers caught up like, wait a second, people are suddenly quoting like very good pricing. Before the spread was like 200 or 100, now it's 40, right? So JP is like quite interesting in that regard, that I think we had like quite a lot of influence on this asset. And then like, yeah, so yesterday we argued, isn't your edge going to disappear if we share it online? Probably some of the edge disappeared here on JP, but it could also be that because I started competing with other market makers, that other market makers just, you know, caught up, and they were like, okay, we can't afford to offer large spreads anymore. We have to tighten up because we can't make money like this. So there are a lot of reasons, right, why JP now is more efficient. So we can like compute the average 24-hour bid ask spread, but we don't have the data for this now, right? We need to like use 0x archive data, so we can run like a market making analysis. If we can like provide constant like bid and ask spread on this market and see how it would perform. So I think like just saying like average 24-hour bid ask spread is enough before we like go deeper into the analysis. And then some calculators, right? Some simple calculators to help you guys, you know, set up the strategy settings, or like to avoid, you know, calculators. And like calculators, you can like have a margin calculator, right? You can have a commission calculator. You can have a funding rate calculator. So all these like little tools that you can do on paper in theory if you know how, but it just makes your life easier once you start using the calculator. So I think these are like the four main things for me to add, so I can like be happy with this. And I'm already happy with this already. The arbitrage screen is great, because today all I did was open Arbitrage Screener here. I looked at favorites and I saw, wow, funding rate arbitrage on crude oil 24%. I'm going in. That's all that happened, right? And then you're like, oh, I don't want to trade crude oil. I prefer JPY. It's 15%. It's still nice. Okay, then trade JPY. Silver, doable. JP225, fine, right? And these are just like the current opportunities. Or if you just want to look at high spread, like this is the cross exchange spread, right? I have to add it. This is not a bid ask spread. This is basically the difference between Hyperliquid MT5. I will add that. Maybe I will add some information icons. But you see that Brent oil on Hyperliquid is 27 cents more expensive than MT5. Gold right now is 1.45 cents more expensive than MT5, and so on and so on. Right. Thank you for info with IC Trading. Are there any other secure brokers that you used that have crypto deposits? Yeah, I've used some brokers in the past, but right now I don't trade with them. I usually just like to, you know, stick with one broker. I've tried like Blueberry Markets, I've tried Vantage, I've tried Tickmill, and I don't know if they offer crypto deposits right now, but I think many of them actually do. But like personally, I'm just using this broker for now because I don't know I don't like the confusion of going to multiple brokers and client areas and processing withdrawals. Like it's like a lot of work for me. So I like to keep my number of brokers or exchanges low because I just like to focus mainly on one thing, right? Um, but if you want any suggestions, like if you're from a certain country where IC trading or IC markets is not allowed, I'm also going to work on interactive brokers integration of the feature. So interactive brokers is, you know, one of the largest like retail brokers that you can have. And the nice thing about interactive brokers is that they like CFDs, you trade them mainly on MT5, but on interactive brokers you can trade futures, stocks, and you have like direct exchange connection. The latency and the speed of everything is much faster. So for market making arbitrage, I think in the future interactive brokers is going to be a much better choice long term, right? But I think IC markets is very capital efficient because we have CFDs. You have very high leverage. You can do crypto deposits. So there's also like a lot of convenience trading CFDs. But when it comes to performance, I think interactive brokers will be better than IC trading in terms of performance, but not capital efficiency. Uh, Thanks for taking all the time to explain and write that out. How I see is the automation of arbitrage to consistently decide capital allocation. You're always changing most optimal pairs. Yeah, I think. Yeah, so we had a discussion yesterday with some other person who came to the stream, and I think I don't want to provide you with like data like you should trade this strategy, and you should like allocate 50% of capital, right? I think this skill or this decision is like up to you, right? All I can do is like give you the opportunities on the table and you choose what you like, because maybe the strategies I'm showing you are not the best, because you know, for any symbol and strategy you can write thousands of backtests, and every backtest will tell you something different. You should use this parameter to have the best result, or you should use this parameter to have this result. So I think the main purpose of the screener is to just give you like the current opportunities at the moment, but to choose a strategy and to apply allocation, certain allocation of capital, and choosing the entry and exit levels is still like a crucial skill that you as a trader should develop, right? And so also as part of Arbitrage Screener, that's why we're going to add these commission calculators, backtesters, strategy parameter optimization tools, right? And these things, so you can design the strategies yourself. Because the main reason is I don't think I'm able to create the absolute best strategy for every symbol. But if you're able to create like sort of a good strategy for any symbol that you want, like maybe I can share strategy settings, I can share you what I do right now, but you can see that every morning I come to live stream, I look at the market, and then I decide, yeah, okay, let's do this, yeah, okay, let's do this. But there is no 100% correct answer that you must trade this symbol at this X% allocation with, you know, these strategy settings. So I think from that point, like when you trade like as a manual trader, right? You can get signals. You should buy here, exit here, and at that point, maybe what your interest is just, you know, use a copy trading tool, right? Just copy me. But I think that's not the point of me doing this. The point of me is providing you with the opportunity so you can see these things, right? And like try to think what strategy, you know, might be good to trade. And that's a fun part in trading. The fun part in trading is actually discovering the strategies rather than just copying that. And like me, I enjoy like looking at the screener, testing new strategies and deploying them, and then like changing it up, right? Because what I could do in theory, I could just turn SP500, USDJPY. I would not have to stream at all. It would make some good money, right? I would not even have to come to work, and it would just trade, right? I could be on a beach or in a park, drinking beer and not worry about it. But I enjoy coming to work and discovering new opportunities. And that's what I want you guys to also like try to learn over time by using the tools that I provide, that you'll be able to analyze, backtest, capitalize on trading opportunity, turn on the trading strategy, and make money yourself. And I think you'll also be, you know, much happier if you had the ability to do it yourself. Cool. Let's go back to backtesting. Okay, so here, so uh, I'm going to make a screenshot. Can you add a link to pair analysis in the sidebar? Question mark. Do you share the code for Arbitrage Lab on Discord too? No, Arbitrage Lab is going to be like my main platform that's going to be hosted, you know, as a web service. So I'm going to share like the dashboard. So if you're like subscribed as a member, you'll gain access to this dashboard and you'll be able to utilize those tools. The only code I provide is the dashboard and the training bots with a control panel. So like in theory, you could like try to copy me, but in the future, we're going to add like multiple dexes. We're going to add advanced backtesters. And I think this is something that I want to protect. Like people tell me, why are you giving your strategy out for free? Why are you giving the training bots for free? And like the dashboard and the training bot are just executing the strategy that you set up. So I think the highest value I can provide is like giving you the edge. And so in case of Arbitrage Lab, I want to like protect the intellectual property here, and the members are free to use this app however they want. Yeah, but to deposit into IBKR, if you are outside US, you have to do it by card. So the only option is to withdraw money from crypto to deposit to IBKR. Is that true? So like I'm from Europe, right? And if I deposit to IBKR, I can use like my Wise account, do a euro payment, a SEPA payment, which is like instant. And like within 5 minutes, my euro funds, I even sent like 100K to IBKR and it arrived within 5 minutes. So I think probably depends on where you're from. So I think it shouldn't be an issue. If you send euros, it's very fast. If you have a Wise account, it should be very fast. Yeah, stable coins. Yeah. So in case of stable coins, that might be an issue. But I think IBKR accepts USDC deposit. 1 second. Yeah, they do accept, but there's like some network fee and so on. So I think like IBKR is good if you're like if you want like a lot of performance, right? But as I said, the convenience and the capital efficiency with CFDs is much higher than with IBKR. So I think IBKR is good if you like really want to like push your strategy to its absolute limit in terms of speed. Yeah, so I guess yeah, with IBKR you have to change USDC back to USD and then deposit that like with usual standard bank methods or through your card to actually, you know, trade with them. Okay, so here we added the pair analysis. So here we have our pair analysis. We added the link, but what's missing though is like we have pair analysis, but here we're missing the input, right? So we need to add like some extra inputs. Pair analysis only works with URL parameters. Can you add extra input fields so I can input the symbol manually if the URL params are empty? Okay, guys, I'm going to take a quick toilet break. I'll be back in a few minutes. I'll make some coffee and then we'll continue with no, the thing. Let me also like double check my trades. Everything looks fine. Everything looks good. All right. Be right back then. All right. 1 second, I forgot something. Yeah, okay, that's good. All right. So subscribers are not getting the code of Arbitrage Screener. No, unfortunately not. But you know, if you like screen record or like this will be public, you can copy this one. But yeah, I will add a lot of like yeah, future things, features, and so on. So like long-term Arbitrage Lab is going to be like my main product for viewers. So like for all members, Arbitrage Lab is going to be available, right? Through like some login page. So if you're subscribed, you can access it at any time. And like if you have requests for any features, you will also gain access to Arbitrage Lab. So like don't worry if you care mainly about access only, then all members will have access. So I'm trying to, you know, finish all the like the apps and features. And so by the end of this week, I will then deploy this app, you know, on a public URL that you can later access. Okay, so let's think about what they want to do. Oh yeah, so we're working uh, on the pair analysis here. So here we see the historical spread and prices. Uh, and I think like we don't have to like worry about styling too much. So I think in the section down here we can run a very simple backtester or like a commission analysis. What are like the minimum thresholds we need to you know, cover the commission and the spread on MT5? I think that's like a nice thing. So or like first we would probably create a calculator to, you know, copy the break even, but that calculator can also like be included in this app here. All right, you have to go to all symbols. Nice. 157. Yeah, I think we allocate USDJPY quite fast. Like that's pretty good. Like if I check the entry price on USDJPY, what's the entry price? It's 0.097. Like that's a like pretty good fill, right? It was a very fast one. So yeah, USDJPY, very nice. I think the volumes also increase like quite a lot. Like do you see that here? The volumes are like 20 million now. Like that is insane. Like before, like I remember a month ago the volumes were like I don't know, like 2 million, maybe 5 million maximum on a good day. But I think it has something to do with like the price just poking through 162, and like a lot of things can actually happen, right? Do you see like this spike here, right? I think like the risk of having like a bank intervention is quite high. So I wouldn't call it like risk-free. Here we actually are dealing with a huge intervention risk, to be honest. But that's why I know it's just like a small speculation anyways. So now if I restart Arbitrage Lab, what you'll get is like if we restart this, so I think like it would be nice like show the data here too, right? So we would have like this component that would also like show the specific symbol, because we don't see that here anymore. So I would like to add in pair analysis. I'd like to display the row with the the raw data of that specific pair from Arbitrage Screener. Can you add this? So I don't care about like the styling now. I just want to add all the important things, and then once we're done with yeah, all the features that I want inside peer analysis. So here we have like a very detailed view of this pair. So in peer analysis, I think it's good that probably we could add a backtester and the calculator here. So it would actually be nice to have all the tools included in this app actually, right? Instead of having like separate calculators. Um, so I will add this into this like app. And like, let's see, like we can also have like standalone calculators that we can import, but the main like the main work of Screener is like you look at the current arbitrage opportunities, right? Then you click on one thing, and then you're like transferred to this individual like place here, right? Maybe I should also open it in a new window, theoretically, or maybe we can like show it as an iframe inside again, like suddenly I like uh yeah showing up this pop-up window. We'll see, we'll see. We have a lot of options. As long as the features are there, I wouldn't worry too much about it. And home is kind of empty. Maybe like we can replace home with a screener, for example, right? So screener will be like homepage and this theoretically, because this is like the main thing you want to like look at. Oh, 14 minutes ago we had another funding rate. Wow. Do you see that? We're having a lot of like buys and sells at the same time. No, it was a daily chart, so we only had buys, never mind. But I can see that we're trying to sell here now. Yeah, we have like a sell order here. And let's look at the funding history, right? So the funding history, so on crude oil we made $1, on USD we made 1.7, on gold we made 1.8. So roughly like $5, let's say we made like $5 in that single hour, which is not too bad, right? $5 is fine. Not the best, not the worst, but still, it's $5 every hour, including also like yeah, annualized 8%. Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, if you make $5 every hour for 24 hours, that's $120. Like think about it. $5 doesn't sound like a lot, but if I told you I would give you $120, it's suddenly a lot, right? So 24 times 5 is 120, remember. Or $10 an hour is $240 a day. And $204 a day times 220 workdays in a year is $52,000. Well, I like doing mathematics like this. It's like slightly motivating because you're sort of like doing it already, right? So instead of thinking about like $5 an hour, look at it as like 20,000 per year, and suddenly 20,000 sounds like a lot of money, right? Um, and like when you look at like historical results, right, on like a small account, right, you can see like the P&L report here, and like if you look at a report, you make $23, 28, right, 72, 30. Okay, 100 is quite a lot already, right? But even if you make like these small little profits, like or like $2, right, or $2 and then $5, like on a daily basis, you don't feel like not much is happening. But if you apply consistency over long periods of time, you know it adds up, right? So the consistency over long periods of time, and suddenly you're $1,000 richer after 5 weeks on a 10K account. So yeah, it's about being consistent making like consistent, even small profits every day if you consider $20 or $50 small, but just keeping up with this consistency is the main beauty of it, right? While we also like try to minimize the losses, and hopefully like this large account will look something like that soon, right? So we had a rough start in the beginning, but it's sort of like moving upwards. So I think like in like 1 month we'll see potentially a similar curve that we see like on the 10K account. Okay, so let's restart this and let's check our screener. And like, yeah, I still have to use 0x archive later to process this. So in peer analysis, right, we have the Hyperliquid symbol, we have the MT5 symbol. I think I should create like a symbol map with a single drawdown to map these things. So I would do something like, can you add a drop down for the symbol pairs instead? I mean, the problem is that like one problem we have with Arbitrage Screener is that if we want to trade something like SP500, right, on Hyperliquid against MT5, we would have to compare it with US 500 MT5. And like when it comes to like stocks, like if you go to various deployers, right, if you go to .cash, there's also USA 500 USDT against MT5, which has a 24% funding rate. Guys, good opportunity on this one. But yeah, so what I'm trying to say mainly is that we have two symbols. So I will have to, like for now, I will combine them. But then I think we'll use the Hyperliquid symbol and we'll map that to the 75 symbol later. So can you add a dropdown for a symbol pairs instead of having two inputs? Use the same symbol mapping that is used in Arbitrage Screener page. Palladium is also interesting. Platinum, 50%. Yeah, platinum looks very interesting actually. I think platinum palladium is excluded in Arbitrage Screener. I have to add it. Can you add platinum and palladium into metals Arbitrage Screener? I see on MT5 the symbols are XBT-USD and XBD-USD respectively. So here USA 500 has very good funding rate. I mean, this we could trade, right? So there are a lot of things that are not included. Like this entire time, we're looking at XYZ, right? We're using an XYZ deployer to check the funding rates, but we can go to Hyena and Cash and try to do something there. There's silver, right? There is gold, USDT. There are stocks, and so these things, right? We haven't tried to trade yet that often, or not at all actually on stream, but I see that there's like a lot of potential there too, right? So here, uh, markets, this is like quite empty here, so there's nothing yet. So yeah, I feel like prediction markets are kind of missing here for some reason. Like there used to be prediction markets here, but I don't see them on Hyperliquid anymore. Oh, here, outcome. I think all that server outcome are not enabled. That's also a possibility. Uh, yeah, here we have outcome markets. Wow, look at that. There is a World Cup championship on Hyperliquid now. That's actually funny. So it looks like Hyperliquid is also becoming sort of like a sports betting exchange. But I don't know how to feel about that, but it's there. And here we have crypto. Interesting. All right, let's check the prompt. How are we doing here? All right, on JB25 we don't have that many trades. Maybe I have to tighten the conditions, or we have 50. Let's just leave it like this. Today it already made how much? $9. Not bad. USJP made $18. Also happy with that. Yeah, we should be fine. Let's just leave like this. Like today we're plus $3. Yeah. Like imagine this is really cool. Okay, so we're adding platinum and palladium. So we're adding that like into our screener. And like theoretically, if I had extra money, I could try to trade platinum. I think platinum shouldn't be that expensive. Let me check XBT-USD. So here we're on XBT-USD. Platinum costs $4 here. Like yeah, the bid and ask spread. So how much is that in percentages? 4 divided by 1,500. So the commission is like 0.2% basically, right? 0.002. And so if I check the platinum XPD-USD. Oh, and we haven't traded PAXG, right? PAXG is also like quite an interesting asset. XPT platinum. So the Oracle price is 65, and here we can sell at 67. Yeah, it's still kind of expensive. Like, yeah, the spread is like very high on IC trading. I think it would be profitable, but it would be mainly a funding rate arbitrage, and there is no guarantee that we might like have a profit. Like maybe a different approach would be like taking platinum, right? And then like trade platinum on Hyperliquid, and then maybe like hedge it with silver, right? Or like some other industrial metals that are like have some correlation, right? So we can reduce the risk, but the edge would mainly come from platinum here. Like that would sort of also be my approach. Like we'd have to check the pricing between platinum and silver or platinum palladium if they're similar, uh, or like try like to trade futures, right? Or some ETFs that might be cheaper. Because on IC trading, they're definitely expensive here, which is unfortunate. But maybe there are some platinum stocks. Oh, I was looking at, yeah, it's XBTUSD. Oh, can't connect. Nice. So here's our screener. We have a drop down. We can select S&P. We have these reloading screens. Nice. We have the data here. And so the other thing I want to add is like a backtester, right? Uh, can you add a backtester in the dashboard? I'm like a backtester. Yeah, would like consume some resources on my server. I just have to, think about how expensive the resources are going to be because the apps are going to be publicly hosted and members are going to use it. I don't think like it's going to be that bad. Yeah, I still need to set up a database and things like that, but yeah, it should be fine. Can you add a backtester in pair analysis? I want to backtest using static entry exit levels. Which also can also include, which also includes commission. The things like funding rates are very difficult to backtest. So here I'm just going to run a backtester in terms of just the spread making and not the funding rates. For funding rate arbitrages, we need to create like a hypothetical calculator, how long this funding rate will last, right? So like that in my point is very difficult to like predict or like backtest efficiently. Maybe there's like a formula, right, to reverse engineer the current funding rate and see how much you would have made. But I don't think like I don't want to go that deep. I think like being able to design a strategy that works is a first step, so you can easily, uh, yeah, transfer to a live trading environment, test it on a low account size, and like mainly observe the live trading results as a positive feedback. If you're doing things correctly. So the backtester is more like the initial check whether it even makes to run the strategy. So I think I need to modify my unrealized P&L. Oh yeah, I also need to modify the unrealized P&L in my public dashboard. I forgot about that. Yeah, I'll include that later. Okay, the backtest might take a bit of time, but then like we can try to work with it. And then we add like a commission and margin calculator, right? And I think that should be done. And like we can, like this is the most important part, right? So these two apps that you see here are the main apps. Anything besides that is just like extra tools that are not that important but nice to have. So once this is done, I will publish the app, and then like whenever we have free time or we want to implement something extra, we can like work on this. But yeah, this is going to be our main app, and we'll add some maybe like alert systems, right? So if I add some alert systems, you can then, for example, add your own like WhatsApp API key that I can use to send you some alerts later. And like there are many things like that I can yeah, provide. Or we could like create like a Telegram group where I invite you, and then you can like look at the real-time arbitrage opportunities. Like I think, yeah, there are a lot of things. Or I can just add it into like my Discord server, right? On my Discord server, we can create like a alert channel, and if you subscribe to the channel on Discord, you will also like gain access to that. And yeah, I think then the next thing is like we can like try to compute a standard deviation to compute the entry and exit levels. I mean, yeah, we can do that. But like first we need to like create also the break-even levels, right? We need to see how much spread you have to cover to at least break even, which is also going to be an important aspect of the strategy. But I think we can do it like with a simple calculator in the beginning instead of like adding that into a backtest. So uh, I'm going to ask Claude if Claude is able to extract the commission percentages and also the average spread MT5 and all those things to correctly compute the minimum spread that you have to cover to make a profit. So I think let's add like today, let's add a commission calculator, or like not commission, like fee, like commission plus spread, so fee. I'm gonna call it break-even calculator. How much in spread do you have to make to break even on the trade? And then like you can say like, okay, I want to make at least double that amount to make it feasible, or like 1.5 the amounts, and based on that you can also set your buy and entry levels. You can also like add like simulated slippages, which we can include, so all of these things can be yeah, included. Okay, so now our Backtester has been added into our dashboard. Um, Okay, so let's try this. I'm going to restart this dashboard. A backtester should now be implemented, and so I'm going to restart. Let's actually use this as the URL parameter. And so down here we have a backtester. So here what we have is like we can try to, buy at -3. We can exit at 0. We can sell at 3. We can exit at 0, and we can pay like I don't know, 50 cents per trade per side. So now we can run the backtest, and this is our equity curve. So here we buy here, we exit here, we buy here, we exit here, and I mean, yeah, that is fine. Like again, like these are just 1 minute snapshots, so the fill is not guaranteed. But yeah, it's a very, very simple backtester that like we can include. And so here in pair analysis, I want to add also like a commission calculator, right? And that commission would also maybe include the spread per side, right? The spread on MT5, or like you can try to yeah, estimate like a higher value. So like if you, for example, say the commission is 1, right? Then you can run a backtest with a higher commission here, and then like you buy here, exit here, buy here, exit here, then you buy here, and then you exit here, right? And so that thing, yeah, provides like quite good results. Because the thing is, there's also like a hedging fee. You pay the spread on MT5 when you buy and sell. So I feel like and this value should be negative, right? So if we do -1, then oh yeah, it should be -1. So if we add negative commission here, right, this is what it looks like. So we buy here, exit here. So we buy at 3.4, we exit 0, gross is 3.4. Oh no, commission is -2. So actually, it should be positive, and the commission sign, yeah, it should be lower. So it looks something like this. So this is the equity curve. All right. And so if we use like 7 days, like 0x archive can have like data for past 30 days. So so the next thing I would, for example, add is like add a standard deviation in the spread. So maybe that could like help us. So I'm going to say like compute a standard deviation on this data set for this like specific period that would help me. Can you compute the standard deviation for the time window? So adding standard deviation gives you also like a rough idea like what the deviation is, and you can in theory use a deviation like I want to go 1 or 2 deviations based on this historical data to buy and sell. So like yeah, we can also do that, for example. And so then we add like a yeah calculator to compute the commission. Like instead of commission, I would maybe call it cost per side, because commission just refers to commission, but the cost will also include the MT5 spread or the commission MT5 they have to pay. So we unify all the cost that is in like associated with trading this strategy. So I'm actually also going to provide that. Can you rename commission per side to cost per side? So by the way, today I'm going to cut the stream a bit short, right? So I will finish this backtester, I will add this calculator, and then I'm going to test the things by myself. But yeah, I have also like some other things I have to work on, also internally. So yeah, I need to, you know, have a trading briefing discussion with my yeah, with company members. And so yeah, so I think I will cut the stream. Yeah, I'll go like in 30 minutes. But yeah, then tomorrow we can like continue working on this dashboard, improve it a little bit. And I think we're like kind of on schedule. So if on Friday I have like a sort of working version that I can like share with you, that would be great. Okay, so here we have cost per side. Here we have the standard deviation lines, right? Uh, and can you display the standard deviation values somewhere? Your inspiration, man. Thank you for sharing knowledge. Ah, thank you. No worries. Sharing knowledge is something that humanity has always done. And like when it comes to trading, like trading is the only place where you don't want to share it. But on the other hand, sharing it is also fine, probably. Depends on what kind of person you are, I guess. Uh, so yeah, oh yeah, we're still computing. So yeah, so we're adding so the standard deviation is like a nice way to like see like the ranges where like price can go theoretically based on the historical data set. And so yeah, so I think like if you instead, if you don't know what the entry and exit levels should be, then you can like, for example, just say, okay, I want to enter like one standard deviation below or two standard deviations below to enter into my trade. And if it also beats the cost, right, the commission and the spread on MT5, then you know that you can probably use these settings and try it out yourself. So here we have the standard deviation. So right now the mean is quite low, but what I care about is the standard deviation, right, which is 1.6. So if we do like 2 times the standard deviation, that would be like 3.2. So we can do like 3.2, like 2 standard deviations, and And here you also have like the mean computed, right? But I don't care about the mean right now because I know that the fair value should be around 0. So here, like backtesting based on like the historical mean actually doesn't tell you that much. So you're more like interested in the actual like standard deviation, which gives you like a rough estimate how volatile the spread is, right? So if I select 3.2, it should be buy or sell. So I think you can, like, you always want to exit at the fair level, right? So you can like try to backtest with like minus 3.2 buy, 3.2 sell exit, and like we can like play around with these standard deviations. Like this is just one way to approach like this thing. Also, you have to include like funding rate adjustments. So in theory, I would maybe deduct 1 point, right, from this and do like exit -1, and here yeah, to account for the funding rate differences, right? But actually it should be fine like this. Okay, can you add a cost calculator that estimates the cost per side using Hyperliquid fee percentages, MT5 average spread, and MT5 fees. So this is a very simple cost calculator that like sometimes you don't know like what the cost per side is, right? So like if you know that Hyperliquid has like 0.03% commission, right now, so you'd have to take the current market price, which is like 7,300 times 0.00003, right? So it's 21 cents, and then MT5, if you want to trade US 500, you have to add the like the spread, which is another 30 cents. But like usually the spread is already like priced into the fill itself. But I like to add it because I like to work with worst case scenarios. So we also add, let's say, plus 0.3. So here the cost per side would be like 0.52, right? That is the cost per side. Uh, so can you show a minus sign in the commissions? So here we're adding the minus sign, right? So here it's just, a way I like to, look at it. So here I want to have a minus sign, and here we have the profits layer. So it's a very, very simple backtester, right? So I won't, like, backtesting is not about like finding the best parameter and finding the best P&L result. It's more about double checking whether yeah, your strategy settings show a profitable tendency, and that's like the first step to try testing a strategy live. So like I wouldn't say that the backtest has strong predictive values, but it's the minimum requirement you have to do to even attempt creating a profitable strategy. Like this is like somehow how I would put it, because usually when I like over optimize with backtest, and do things like that, it almost never shows the same result in the live trading environment. So just so you know, I wouldn't focus too much on backtesting. I would rather like focus on, like, if you're able to generate some strategy that works, then just apply it like in a live trading environment, trade it, and then you'll see, on your live account if it's actually working or not, right? So don't overthink backtesting. Treat it just as a tool to confirm that your strategy has potential, and the sooner you get the sooner you get to live trading, I think the better long term. So yeah, so now we added the cost calculator, and yeah, that in my opinion is like really great. So now we can like try to play with it. I'm going to remove home, so I'm going to set Arbitrage Screener as our home page, and then we're going to have the pair analysis to provide, some more in-depth details for our trading strategy. And so right now we're still using the Hyperliquid, direct API connection. So tomorrow and the day after, we're going to work on like a database that can, on a different backend system that uses 0x archive, and we're going to create our own database that's going to provide data to Arbitrage Lab. Yeah, and then we can work on the visual styling, and yeah. Oh no, guys, I forgot tomorrow. I actually have plans. I'm sorry about that. I'll schedule something on Thursday, but I'll post an update, a short trading update on Discord, right? So if you're interested in the trading results, you can always check my P&L report. And if you have a question, just send me a message on Discord, and I'll try to reply to you. So yeah, so now if I refresh, now we should have the calculator. So here on MT5, there is a fee percentage. So on Hyperliquid, it's 0.003. So you will have to remember this value, right? It's 0.003, or you can copy that from MT5, from Hyperliquid, I'm sorry. For Hyperliquid fee percentage, can you set it to 0.003% as default? On MT5, please use a flat fee percentage. Please, MT5, can you take the fee from MT5 specs? Right, I think the better approach is we save the data beforehand so you don't actually have to work with it. Because MT5, the fees, when you look at the fees, they're not specified in percentages, but it's like a fee per contract. So you need to take the fee divided by the contract size, which then gives you, yeah, the fee. And yeah, so the most difficult thing tomorrow is yeah, instead of using MT5 direct connection Hyperliquid, we need to rewrite the entire backend. But because we have all the front end components done, it's just about a different way to store and retrieve the data, setting up a database. So it's actually not that difficult because Claude knows what the output is. So yeah, we'll work on that tomorrow. Let's check some more trades. How's everything going? In 3 minutes, we have another funding rate. Here we see that we have close to liquidation, but it's not that close. We're 5. Our liquidation distance 5, and it gets liquidated at 2.5. So I'm not too worried. Maybe JPY liquidation is too close, but it's nice to see this alert here. And when the margin level MT5 drops, also it will also provide that alert. So yeah, that's great to see. And it's nice that on the 100 count, because I'm trading a bit more conservatively, not so aggressively, the balances don't go that far left and right, so it's actually nice and evenly distributed for the past 2 weeks. And the less we rebalance, the more efficient both sides are also. Okay, this looks pretty good. And let's have a look at this now. Okay, so crude oil is still very high. So it's 26.99% short funding rate arbitrage. But we also have to include the fact that there is like some, drift happening. I need to check the Oracle basis if there is like a yeah, drift in the Oracle spread. But right now the Oracle spread is 0.43, right? So I want to check if it's getting smaller or bigger. Yesterday, if I remember correctly, it was around like 0.46 also. So maybe I shouldn't be too worried, but it's like nice to at least like keep track of that, right? So here we have 0.44 drift from the Oracle spread. So I also need to check, uh, how far the Oracle spreads, drifts away from the MT5 price. And this requires also some, oh yeah, I forgot to add it. We need some Oracle mark price plus Oracle mark basis plus Oracle basis monitoring. I think that's important, like if you want to also trade something like crude oil. Okay, let's restart our app, and so now let's again try to run this app on SP500. So here by default we have 0.003, MT5 average spread 0.3. The Here the MT5 fee is 0. Uh, can you rewrite MT5 fee percentage to MT5 fee? Don't use percentages. So we need to like use a manual input. So we could like add like fee per contract, but I think people like I'll just create a manual, how we can also add it manually. In most cases, like it's not that difficult, but I think mainly for beginners, that's like something that beginners need to do it correctly. So so it's little things, but I think, yeah, I like to be helpful at least. Okay, this is done. So let me refresh. So fee is 0, spread is 0.3, applied to cost per side. So this is our like cost to hedge it. Actually, if I set this to 0, it's 22 cents. And if the average spread is 0.3, yeah, that's the cost per side because you multiply by 2. So this is correct. Then like what we can do is like by default we can try to pre-fill the standard deviations. So or like what we can do is like we can use the mean and standard deviations to pre-fill the buy, entry, and exits. So basically we're using like a Bollinger Band strategy basically, but static level based on historical spread. So I think like for a backtester I can like for the entry and exit levels, can you pre-fill can you add pre-fill button with 2 choices? For choice 1, entry is equal to mean plus minus 2 std, exit is equal to mean. Choice 2 is equal to entry is equal to mean 0. I mean 0 plus minus 2 std exit is equal to 0. Is a plan to make this an API or interface only? For now, I'm just gonna use it as an interface, but it's not difficult to provide it also as an API. I could create like API keys that you as users can generate, and then you can try to request signals from this app. But for API trading, right? Because in case of an API, there might be like a lot of dangers in terms of data quality, and I can't like guarantee that the data is going to be correct, right? I'm just one person. I have no testers. Uh, I'm mainly focused on trading, so I like would try to avoid using this data for like direct trading, and I would add disclaimers for that. But yeah, creating an API shouldn't be difficult at all. But yeah, like this API can like provide suggested entry and exit levels using standard deviations that you can then verify. Or like we can create like strategy settings based on these levels, right? So we actually created strategy settings like buy, sell, buy entry, sell, exit, and so on. And we also computed the cost using the reference price. Uh, so yeah, that's pretty good. And then we'll add Oracle basis later. So the Oracle gives us actually the fair value around which we want to buy and sell. I could run this analysis and then configure trading bot based on the result. Well, yeah, you're theoretically correct. Like, but I mean, like, why do you need an API if I can like provide like just a notebook, right? Like it could provide the historical data. I think that would be very good, right? I can provide the spread and the historical price, which then the AI can use to process, like do some automated backtesting and put out some strategies. Yeah, I think that sort of that makes sense actually. Like for backtesting analysis, I think the AI could perform very well. I just have to check, about the usage limits, right? Because I'm going to host like um yeah, the server myself, also the backend is going to use some paid service. So I just need to make sure that in case people start using the API, that I don't owe my my partners like a few $1,000s for the data usage. But all of that like can be like sort of solved, with some rate limits and usage limits and so on. Remove home link. use Arbitrage Screener as homepage. So I can also add this. Yeah, ask because this relates to my question earlier about automating optimal pairs at each point in time to maximize gains. Yes, that's correct. So I think if you want to create like a very good backtest, so uh, Poseidon has very good input here. Like this backtest is like very simple. Like it's mainly like oriented for beginners who don't know how to set up entry and exit levels. But if you want to create like a very good advanced strategy with your own settings and customization, then like this API can provide the historical data that you can then use for your own analysis. And then like you can import the data in your own Jupyter notebook and use AI to, somehow evaluate the data set and write a more sophisticated backtest. It could like include volumes, trades, and so on. So yeah, there's actually a lot of potential in terms of also like offering an API solution. I mean, based on the cost, right? So here, as you can see, like if I were to offer like some API, probably I would have to upgrade to Pro or Scale. I'll have to see based on the usage consumption. So maybe, yeah, we'll see based on the usage. Uh, if it's not too much, I'm gonna keep the pricing the same. If like there's going to be like heavy API usage, then probably I can, increase the price or like create a special package for API users. But I'll think about it, right? So in the beginning, I can provide like some, some usage limits based on like the number of historical data provided. But yeah, this is like still quite advanced, and I think like doing such a project, uh, yeah, will take maybe like a week or two to finalize. First, we want to create like finish this UI that we can like screen manually, and once that is done, then we'll see, what the next project will be. Because long term I also want to create like a screener for like other dexes, right? So when we like run the API, we could have like an API that could return historical data from multiple dexes at the same time. It could be like one source of truth for like all dexes, all CFD data and so on. That would be kind of cool. In such a case, I'd be sort of like a data feed provider, like Data Bento or something like that. So that's actually like a very huge project on its own. But of course, we don't provide raw data feed. We're like mainly focused about the analysis and backtesting aspect. Okay, so Arbitrage Screener is now our homepage. We have the pair analysis. We have our estimated cost, so we can run our backtest. We can select our symbol pair, which is here, and we should have two buttons that should pre-fill like the levels. So here we can like set the values to this. We can apply cost per side. We run the backtest, and here we see our profit. We see our buys and sells here. And yeah, I think like as like our first attempt, to create a backtester and like explore historical data. I think we did quite a good job. Of course, it requires some visual styling, some improvements. But for now, I would leave it as it is. Maybe I'll do some like small visual upgrades. But the next step to host this app publicly is we need to integrate a new backend, which is 0x archive, create like some MT5 web API, where because MT5 has to run locally, so I will have to like spin up a server, interface MT5 with some API server that can then transmit the data to our Arbitrage Lab, which will then process data, put it into a database, and then it would like display the data and update, you know, the values like maybe every 15 seconds. And so once that is done, we can also like add historical data, uh, a lot of database work here. And once that is done, I think like by the end of the week, we will have this screener so you guys can, you know, try it out and then use it for yourself. So here, like JP225, let's try to, you know, run a similar strategy on JP. And like if you look at like this strategy here, right, you see standard deviations 84. So what I can do here is like I can again like try to run the same strategy here. So here I can pre-fill the commission per side, which is 4. I can pre-fill uh, base entry and exit levels. I can run the back test, and suddenly you see that like this back test looks really nice. And that's one JPY that we're trading, which is quite a lot. So again, liquidity is unlimited. Sometimes the price spikes are not real. We need to do like a lot of like filtration and data cleaning. But overall, like the main functionality of the app is here. So don't consider it as like a valid real backtest. We're just testing the functionality at this point, right? Just making sure that like all the features are included. And then when it comes to data cleaning and so on, and like trying to apply a more realistic backtest, we can do that before we deploy this to production. All right, guys. So yeah, if you have any questions, I mean, that's it for today. I have to do like some work internally with my team, so I'm gonna cut it short. Tomorrow I'll be busy, so I won't be streaming tomorrow, but on Thursday I'll be back, and then we can continue working on this dashboard and we implement this new backend. So thanks. Also, I haven't been watching all the latest streams. There's a plan to still introduce Bollinger Band in the bot. Also, will that be a backtesting feature? Yeah, like adding a backtesting feature is all right, right? Like a Bollinger String bot is like nothing difficult. We can add that. But like I postponed, you know, my Bollinger strategy. Yeah, I postponed it because I wanted to focus like on like Arbitrage Lab, and like I still have like to optimize the strategy using static entry and exit levels. So like it is something that I will like work on eventually, but for now my main like objective is to work on Arbitrage Lab and like try to like do some small optimizations in the dashboard and control panel for now, right? So I don't want to overpromise by, you know, doing too much work. So usually like I'm really excited about doing all these things, but then I realize, okay, now we have dashboard, now we have control panel, now we have Arbitrage Lab, and now the Discord community. I want to provide like a quality service, and to ensure that I need to focus on the important things before I start new projects. So definitely something I want to do, and we're going to look into it in the future. But like, sorry if I can't, you know, do all these things because I'm creating this Asana task. Like 1 month ago, it was so empty, and then every day I add something new, and then like I'm just trying to ask myself, what should I do today? What should I do today? And it's like you know, stacking up quite fast, but which is fine. Having too much work is better than having none, so that's like still a good thing. So let's answer some other question. YRG2, thank you. Yeah, thank you for that nice comment. Do you provide support when I try using this particular strategy? Also, does it come with a manual? Yes. So like when you download the trading bot, the control panel, the dashboard, you know, and set up the server, I have actually a colleague who can help you set it up. So when you download it, you can hop on like on a one-on-one meeting, or he can like help you assist with that. So the trading bot starts. We have some default strategies that you can turn on, and so, and once the robot runs, all you have to do is like observe and making sure that it runs correctly. It comes with a manual, of course, but the manual is like included in the code itself. So what we have here, like to start a strategy, like on my website, here's like a short article, what's necessary, what you have to do, right? So these are like the more prerequisites that you need to start a strategy. And when you are about to install the strategy, then like in the project itself, you will have like a README file, and yeah, you can follow this README file to like turn on this strategy. But again, just ask on Discord, someone will help you there. they'll set it up with you, and like even if you have like no coding experience or technical experience, they'll happily help you set it up there. This video is a bit like it's like outdated. Like I uploaded like a month ago. Now we have so many changes since then. So like here you see just the command prompts. Now we have the control panel now. So I'm planning it like to also like do an updated like tutorial how to set it up very soon. So yeah, so for now, just text me on Discord. Someone will help you there. And like most people actually have no issues setting it up. It's actually pretty easy. Just install Python. You double click like on a server. All you have to do is like you install Python and you double click on control panel, double click on run dashboard, and your strategy should be running, right? And then if you want to set up a specific strategy, we'll help you like with setting up one default strategy if you need any assistance. Okay, let's do some last check if trading's fine. Wow, realize it's 160 today, so that is great. $160. Funding history. Yeah, +2, +0.8, +1.2. Yeah, life's nice. Making profits. Every hour, like feels kind of nice. So everything's cool. Okay, guys. So thank you again for joining today's live stream. I'll see you on Thursday. I'll schedule a stream roughly around like 1 p.m. or 1:30, right? I'll let you know exactly the time when I release a stream. So enjoy the rest of the day, and I'm off now.